This clip is brought to you by Mark Bell Slingshot. This gear is made for lifters by lifters. Enjoy this clip.
What do you do with diet for people?
Oh, good question.
Is that hard with these guys?
Yeah, it's relatively hard, but the good thing is that from if you were to talk about body composition, right? Top level nutrition, body composition, we play so much, we practice so much that my guys don't really gain weight during season. They'll gain some weight when they get away from the court for a little bit and they come back to it. In general, once I get a guy to a body weight that I want for a season, and we want to do that before season starts, I just want you to stay there all season. It's very rare that we want to have drastic body composition changes or body weight changes through season. So do they eat good? I don't know. Probably not all the time, right? Obviously, but is it okay? Because I think my first goal with nutrition is, are you getting enough calories? I don't want to see guys lose a ton. Unless you needed to lose fat, I don't want to see guys lose a bunch of weight, right? So if you're at a good body composition, if you're using skim folds, call it your guards at 8%, and you're there, well, the goal is can we stay there and not lose weight over season?
Yeah.
And so sometimes that means we need to get calories. And so now you get into that quantity versus quality discussion of nutrition. And to me, it's you need to start with quantity because we just need to get the calories. And so although the chicken salad is a nice idea, if the Chick-fil-A is what you have access to and you need to go get that. Because I would rather have you eat quote unquote bad food than not eat at all.
Hey, Chick-fil-A is good food, man.
And Chick-fil-A is good food too. And then beyond that, there's actually some education around that. Guys will come to me and say, Ram, I'm gonna eat Chick-fil-A, but what should I get? It's cool, man. Let's pull up the menu. Let's find. If you like both of these options, this one has a little bit more protein and a lot less fat. So let's just get that. And that stuff they don't care about. I'm not gonna take away your option. I'm just gonna tailor your options to ultimately what you like. So
around training, I'd imagine the players get pretty good meals, right? When they're on campus and
they have access for sure, right? The challenge
they can
is
they can do what they like, right?
Yeah, and we have a system where they basically have we call it a red card. They have a credit card essentially that is paid through their scholarship, and there's I don't know, maybe 15 restaurants in town that they can go to now, and they all have cars now because of NIL. They all got their own car and stuff. So that's
how do they have their own cars now? What do you mean?
Yeah, everyone's got their own car.
They get contracts now.
Yeah, they
really?
Yeah.
So everyone has their. I mean, before my running joke is some of y'all haven't made a left hand layup in a game. You got a car already. But I like it, right? The benefit is now there's no excuse to not go, because just a year ago it was, Ram, I didn't have a ride, and now it's that's not an option anymore. Ram, I didn't have money. It's not an option anymore. So we always, but in general, I look at nutrition can we get the calories? And then once we've got a system to where you're getting calories, you're not losing weight, you're not gaining weight. We found this caloric balance that we need. Perfect. Now let's improve the quality. Hey, you're going to Chick-fil-A anyways. Here's what you should pick instead of this. And then over time, we'll start to mix in some of those other things. Hey, Ray, I know I drink a lot of soda. How can I switch it? And sometimes, some coaches are oh, just drink water. I'm that's not realistic. Okay, so we know we don't want you to get calories from your beverages. Can we get to water? Can we get to a Gatorade Zero, right? A lower, or it might just be a flavored option that's 0 calories. Sometimes that's good, right? And so, I think it's just educating and tailoring through whatever they got going on. The biggest gaps that we see is guys, they're just young, right? They're young men, and so they don't know how to. Time management comes to mind, right? I didn't have time. Well, okay, you didn't want to get up early to make breakfast, which is fine, but you knew that was going to be the case. So why don't the night before we create some things that you can wake up and eat? Things that we know we do because we're adults and they just lack some of the time management skills around nutrition.
Yeah,
and that's the first kind of hole we need to plug. And then we do obviously give them some different supplements and stuff like that, and that helps. But ultimately, I just look at it: are you eating, and can we time that appropriately? Because sometimes guys will wake up, they'll miss breakfast, they'll go class, tutoring, lift, practice, and you get to practice, and they're, damn, I'm lightheaded. It's well, did you eat today? No, I didn't have time. It's no, you did have time. You didn't prioritize it, right? And so I think it's just a lot of that education.
These guys I know supplementation isn't the biggest thing, but electrolyte supplementation for athletes that sweat a lot, it's a pretty big deal. Do they do much of that over there? Do they provide that, or do you not think that's that big of a deal for them? Yeah, no, it certainly is. They sweat a ton, obviously. We provide some stuff, and then our trainers obviously provide some stuff, and they're pretty good about hydrating. We're mainly because we practice so hard that you're gonna find a way to get some and coach kind of treats water breaks as a benefit. So when they can drink and refuel, and obviously have Gatorade on the sideline, they find a way to get kind of rehydrated because we just practice so hard. I think sometimes if your training isn't that intense,
then there's times where you can go hours without rehydrating because you just don't feel a need for it. But when your training is very intense, you're going to find a way to go get some water or because coach is telling you it's water break time and everyone's part of the culture. So, and then we'll supplement a little bit with it, but not a ton of like just like salt packs or anything like that. It's usually just through Gatorade and other things.
So Power Project family, I hope you enjoyed this clip. We are on Discord and Reddit. We're trying to talk to you guys and build a community down there. So the links are in the bio. But remember, like, comment, subscribe, share this out with people so you can share the wealth of health. As cheesy as that fucking sounds. Peace.